Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry. Now I'm going to submit this code. Okay. Now I'm going to submit this code. I'm going to click here, submit. Then I'm going to choose this compiler, G++14. Then I'm going to copy my code here as it is to this entry. Okay, then I'm going click on submit here, submit button here. Okay, so let's submit this, and it's going to be compiled, then running. Okay, it's accepted now. Okay, so my solution is right. Okay, you see how I have achieved this. Okay, so okay, now I think I have finished most of the things, but I have one more additional thing. It's not going to take more than I think 3 minutes, but I would be happy if I could answer your questions if you have something. Do anyone have a question or something for now? Okay, no questions. Let's get back. I have a single thing here. Okay, there are some more additional nodes, but they are considered as some famous functions in C and C++. Okay, so I'm going to talk about each one of these. The first one is called fill. This is fill function. Okay, I have declared an array here which is called my array. Okay, I have declared an array here which is called an array. Then I have used this function. This is like a built-in function or a function that it comes with the C++ language. You could obtain this from this namespace standard std, and I'm going to run this function to fill my array with a certain value. What certain value I want? I want to fill it with 4. So I supply this to the third parameter or third argument here, 4. Okay. Then I'm going to set the start address of my array and the end address of my array. So it's easy to write that I want to fill my array here until I reach the 10th place of it. Okay. So this is the syntax that could be used here. Then I'm going to print the second element of my array here. So let's run this, and I have 4 printed on my screen. Actually, what happens when I'm going to check about the element number 6? Okay, I have 4 also printed on my screen. So it's filled with all 4 on this array. Okay, so its elements are going to be filled with the value 4 here, that's mentioned here actually. Okay, in the third parameter. So this function is called fill. The second one is called memset. Okay, okay, it has some similarities actually with the fill function, but it is different. It is really different. Okay, I'm going to supply this array to memset. Then here I'm going to supply the value that I want my array to be filled with, which is 0 in this case. Okay, then I'm going to supply the size of my array. Okay, so I could write here size of my array, and it's going to calculate or get its real size. Okay, so memset defines this okay, I'm getting back. Hello? Hello?
Oh,
What is the last thing you heard from me?
it was about an array declared the thing.
Okay, so you didn't see this example here on the screen, the fill example here, you didn't see, right? Did I have explained this? Yes or not?
As someone said not
Okay, okay,
in the message.
okay. Please mute all your microphones. I'm going to finish now, but please concentrate with me. This is the fill function. This is a famous function within C and C++. Actually, fill is going to set all the members or the elements of this array to a certain value. Okay, I'm going to use this function fill on my array this way. Here I'm going to
Share screen.
sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, okay, now I think you see me. Okay, I have declared an array here. Okay, I think okay, sorry for this. I'm going to use this function fill on my array in order to fill my array with a certain value, which is 4 here in this example actually. So my array here is going to be filled with all 4 values for all its elements actually. Okay, how I could use this? Actually, the fill array is going to take 3 arguments. Okay, the first one is the starting address to fill within. Okay, so I'm going to supply my array here to this argument. Then I'm going to supply the last address. So I have declared my array here to have 10 places. So I'm going to write the word my array plus 10. This is the last address that the fill function is going to fill within my array. Then this is the value that I want to fill it with. I want to fill it with all 4. Okay, here I'm going to print the second element of my array. So let's run this. So I have here 4 printed on my screen. What happens if I print any other element? I have also 4. Okay, so it works. I'm going to fill it with 100. So it works here. Okay, you see? So this is how fill works. Okay, so this is our first function that I want to talk about. The second one, something called memset. Okay, actually it has some similarities with fill, but it's really different from it. I'm going to say how it's different. But memset is actually memset is member of this file, so you need to include string.h firstly before use it. Okay, before using it. Actually, memset takes the address parameter, okay, of your array. Then it's going to take a value in order to fill this array with. Okay, then it's going to take the size of your array. So here you are going to supply a size of your array. Okay, so that's it, and it's going to fill your array with all zeros. But actually it fills your array byte per byte. I mean, unsigned integer contains 4 bytes. This contains 4 bytes. Okay, So the single element of my array occupies 4 bytes within the memory. Okay, but this is going to put 0 on the first byte, and 0 on the second, and 0 on the third, and then the fourth one. So this is the first element of my array that's going to have all zeros, and so on. Okay, so let's try this. So we have 0 on the screen. What happens if we have filled this with -1? Okay, we have here a corrupted value. I want to say that what happens if we fill this with 4? We have here something like also a corrupted value. What is this actually about? Okay, it is about having each, I mean something like this actually. Okay, for memset, you have an array. Each place contains 4 places. So there is 4 here, and 4 here, and 4 here, and 4 here. Okay, so when you are going to print one of these on the screen, you are going to have a number that's very large, because these are transferred into ones and zeros in this way. Okay, so you have this big number here on the screen printed in decimal. Okay, which is going to be like this. This is the same as this. This is in binary, and this is in decimal actually. Okay, so be careful when using memset. Always use it with zeros, or you could use it with -1s. Okay, if you have declared this as signed integer. Okay, so you see it's -1, which is true. Okay, because -1 adds all ones. I have explained this in a session before. These are going to be all ones. Okay, and it's going to be printed -1 on the screen. So any question here before I finish? Okay, there are no questions. The last thing I'm going to talk about, something called A to I. Okay, A to I. It converts an array to an integer. Okay, something like this. I have declared an array here. Okay, which contains this value. Actually, this value is going to be an character array. This is a character array. This is called a character array. So this is a character expression, or you could deal with this like a string. Okay, I want this to be converted to an integer, to be stored within my memory as an integer, and deal with this, make some summation, make some subtraction, and so on. How I could achieve this? I could achieve this using this function, which is called A to I. Okay, and I'm going to supply my character array here to this, or I could supply something like this also, 4 2 3, something like this. Okay, which is right also. Okay, then I'm going here to see out, or making the output on the screen of these both. I have declared a new variable here, and this is my character array, which is converted into integer and stored within my variable here. Okay, so let's run this. We have the same values for the two lines actually, but this comes from a character array, and this comes from an integer. And if I'm going to make something like my variable plus plus and print this on the screen, okay, it is valid here. Okay, so I have 424 after the increment. Okay, but I couldn't, this is not going to be a valid expression in my case. It's not true in my case when I'm going to make something like this. Okay, or actually I want to copy this here. This is not going to be true. Okay, this is not valid here. Okay, for in this case actually. Okay, but this is valid because it is the conversion of my array. Okay, so it is usable in these cases. Actually, I have finished. If anyone has a question or something, please go on and ask.
I wanted to ask about the memset function. That if I want to store a character, so I consider the ASCII code of it.
Yes, you could achieve this when only and only you have a character array, or you have an array of bytes like this. I want to declare my array as a character array like here. Okay, here you could safely, okay, fill it with what you want. Let's try. Okay, I have A printed on my screen. What happens if I have filled it with B? I have B printed on my screen, but what happens if when I declare this as integer or anything bigger than 1 byte? We have something that has no meaning for us. It is safe only when you are using this as character or unsigned character. Actually, a character is the same as signed character. They are the same actually. Okay, these both are the same. Unsigned also is true for this case actually. Okay, so your speech is right. Okay, what else? Okay,
Something about the problem that we solved. That the fence was 7 meters, and one person of them was 7. So worst case is also taken into consideration in this solving.
Okay, you are talking about what happens if the fence was the same as the height of the person who was going to pass. Okay, actually the problem statement said that the guard couldn't see the people that have the same or have the same height as the fence. There is no problem as this. Okay, anything else? Okay guys, I think I have finished. I'm sorry for making this session. Okay, go on. Go on. If you have something, go on.
Okay, yes. It's not a question. I just want to see the screen with name text again.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Can I see your screen with the name text again? Then,
Please write it. I couldn't hear you very well. Please write it in a message.